Merry Game Miss, everybody! Welcome to Sonic X Shadow Generations again for the long-awaited movie DLC pack. So usually when I see promotional content like this, that's like a crossover between one product and another, it's usually in spin-off games like, Sonic Forces Speed Battle, mobile games. An anomaly has appeared in white space. Open the pause menu to see where it is. So obviously with this new update, mods are like temporarily broken. Oh, it's right by the Space Colony arc. Let's go. So I'm so excited to this because it's like this opens up so much potential for us to do new things in future Sonic games, and like people have always wanted additional. It's the warp ring from the movie. I know that we saw something like this in the Sonic Frontiers and Other Story DLC, but this has like the sound effects and like the VFX to back it up and everything too. You could see the portal on both sides, which obviously heavily contrasts the way that the hub world normally works in Generations, where it's kind of implied that this level is just a part of the hub as a whole, right? But this, it's got like the warping effect on the edge of everything, like the actual movies. And like I said, this reminds me a lot of Archie Sonic too, because they used warp rings to get around all the time, and I thought it had a lot of really cool potential. Wow, look at the smoothness in this animation. That's it, we're taking you to real-life Shibuya. Act 1, just like that. And we did see there was a cutscene with voice acting. I wonder how in-depth the narrative will be in this. Oh wow, he's so detailed. I just saw so many individual pieces of fur. Oh, his grunts. Like, that's not even mistakably Kirk. He's so quiet. That's one thing that's funny about Keanu Reeves' voice work. The actual gun tank. This looks like it was right after the actual movie Shadow attacked. And obviously this is game Shadow that just got transported into his body. That's how he sees his form? That is cinematic. What a cool way to reveal it. It's like seeing your reflection in water. But instead, it's on the building advertisement. I wonder how different the way he speaks and his general body mannerisms are compared to movie Shadow, because they're completely different mentalities and completely different people at this point in time. Like, dude, it's so weird seeing the third quill on him there.
Suspicious. I should follow.
Oh, that's really...
Kept my basic form and abilities.
Well, he's speaking in such a weird way. What is that? What is this, Donkey Kong Country with these collectibles? Am I gonna get all the Kong letters?
Looks like how Maria described the Earth.
He's thinking about Maria! Wow, that's so weird hearing Keanu specifically. Oh, this is a ramp. Yeah, yep. There's something so bizarre. Oh, his jump ball is so spiky. It's so fluffy. There's something so bizarre. Oh, wow, look at the way that it animates to the side. It looks like the movie's logo. Oh, he looks so cool doing the Forces SA2 pose. Oh my god. This level is gorgeous. It's shining everywhere. Yo. Anyway, it's so weird hearing Keanu do voice work like this. Oh my god, boy. It's like, it's weird because like he's a phenomenal actor. These are like photos. Weird. Fight my way out. That's some Sonic 06 voice lines right there. I'll fight like I always have. Oh, it's so like grimy and gritty in here. Yo,
What are they?
They, as in Black Arms or Gun? Oh, it looks like the gun robots look slightly different. I wonder if they're getting a redesign. But yeah, Keanu is a phenomenal actor, so it's really interesting to see him in a voice role where he can't use all the physicality of his face and his body language. This is just like Dark Beginnings. Whoa, dude, what is this choreography in the game? We didn't see like animation like this in the levels of the base game. Obviously, this is a lot shorter. Dude, we just saw a human. Woo! we just saw a human in gameplay for the first time since, like, Unleashed. This is all, like, child's play to him. He's dealt with the military. Oh, that's an indicator. Whoa, look at how good that fire effect is. I am so in love with the realism of the art direction in this DLC. Oh my god, dude. This is gorgeous. I know that people don't love... Oh, Chaos Control, right? Freeze. He's just so, like, chill in all his voice lines, whereas Kirk feels a lot more aggressive with everything that he's saying and doing and all of his grunts. Like, his jump is literally just, yup, 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 yup. I don't know. Like, I'm not hating on Keanu's voice. I just think it's so funny, like, how chill he is.
Too slow.
Clearly not. I know that you're supposed to Chaos Control there. I just didn't have Chaos Control meter. Whoa, this lighting! Like, you can distinctly tell the art style in this level is a completely different universe than the canon art style and everything. I'm taking a lot of hits here, but it's because I'm just trying to, like, take everything in as it comes, you know? I'm seeing a lot of similarities to Dark Beginnings with the choreography here. And just, like, generally fighting the military. Which we haven't really done since Shadow the Hedgehog, I guess.
Not a big deal.
Not a big deal! And then he hits the 06 pose. Just the amount of detail in the shoe, the seams in the gloves, the clasps of the bracelet, and all the animation is incredibly a step up from the base game. And I know it's because this piece of content is a lot shorter. Wow, an actual cutscene.
Oh.
Please tell me we get a boss fight. No? Really? Maybe? Maybe we get a boss fight with the military? But yeah, this really opens the door for them to keep adding content to this game. I would willingly keep paying $8, $6, whatever it was, for more levels, more zones, more bosses. It doesn't have to fit with the story. Just keep being cool, please.
I have no time for this. I have to complete my mission. But I'll be back.
But I'll be back. His voice sounds so cool. Oh, there's even more cutscene. Guess this is just him leaving. Oh, why did they go so hard for him leaving the ring? That was unnecessary. But it solidifies Generations as the perfect Sonic game. That's so cool that they put so much emphasis... Oh, Omega, I'm sorry, bro. So cool that they put a lot of emphasis on the fact that that was game Shadow and not movie Shadow, so that there's absolutely no room for confusion for any kind of fan. Wait, this poster has been here and blank the whole time, hasn't it? Oh, so that's the collectibles that we were getting. It's like these dev mode camera shots through different parts of the level. Extra Tokyo Act 1. Why do they call it Act 1? There's no Act 2. There is challenge acts, though. I gotta go back and get me an S rank. I am so in love with the amount of detail in the backgrounds here. Like, every single one of these billboards and buildings, like Mean Bean Coffee. Wow! Oh, I saw this earlier on Twitter. That's literally Adventures of Robotnik from the cartoon. Like, that is like American Sonic media immortalized there. By the way, the quality of these cars is incredible. Huge step up from the cars that we saw in, like, Sonic Frontiers, where they were all just, like, white minivans. What a good remix, too. That's so cool that there's a ramp on every one of these cars. This is a really interactive level design. Like, no matter where you go or where you fall, it seems like they have a bit of gameplay for you. I also love that you can just kind of, like, skip around and go here instead of going the exact way. Yeah, like... The shine, the reflection off these walls, they're so clean. It's interesting to me, the voice direction they're giving Keanu Shadow in this DLC, because it might be indicative of how he plays Shadow in the movie. Like, this obviously happens right after the fight in the movie that we keep seeing being advertised. I heard that some of the assets that are used in this are very similar to assets that you see in Yakuza's Tokyo, which makes sense because, you know, Sega owns Yakuza. I think I even heard people saying that the Yakuza team might have worked on this DLC. I have no idea how true that is, but they are incredibly talented.
The ultimate power.
Oh, this is the ultimate power. His inflection was much different than Kirk's there. Come on, let's make it. Let's make it. Let's use that momentum. I feel like the momentum was a lot smoother there than the base game momentum I used from boost jumps. There's no way they touched up the actual physics for this, right?
What a waste of time.
I wonder why Keanu talks so quiet as Shadow. Like, it really just sounds like Keanu just tired. He sounds cool regardless, and I used to think that Keanu's voice didn't really work for Shadow all too well, because I'm just so used to like a really deep voice Shadow. But the more that I listen to Keanu and how like mellow he is, I think it works, because Shadow, he isn't always like angry. The blue flame on the bottom of the shoe is so cool. Like, he's a quiet person, he's a quiet character, he's reserved, you know? So I see it working. I guess I've never actually used Chaos Spear. It looks so cool. Everything that he does looks like much better with this model. All the animations, all the effects, like his shoe effect has changed.
Too slow.
Too slow. I just love the cheesy cockiness in his voice. Coming out of this Hollywood actor for major blockbusters. It's just such a level of 90s radicalness that I'm in love with. And you know Keanu is no stranger to cheesy 90s action movies. This role was made for him. I love that he's like homing attacking it, and it's got like the electrical effects on him too. I'm gonna let that linger because I love the animation. He looks like a bunch of bananas whenever he's in the spinball.
Perfect.
Is there a completely unique animation with different camera angles and scenes for every rank? Because I thought the one for A rank was like 10 times better than the base game animations. He free-falled off the side of the building and he's still blinking. Please just give us little snippets like this in more DLC packs. I don't care if it fits with the story. Please just keep giving us more levels. It'd be so cool if we could see Movie Shadow with the Doomwing. Come to think of it, that's probably why Movie Shadow, that's a great pose, it's probably why Movie Shadow isn't playable in the rest of the game, because they would have to like make a Doomwing design for him that fits and everything. Alright, let's channel our inner Spagonia and do a balloon rush mission. I guess this is kind of like the, wow, this is a parade. This is kind of like the open zone balloon popping missions. Oh, you know what? This actually reminds me of base Sonic Generations missions. Just the way that you have all these assets just kind of hanging around, absorbing the area, and there's all these like platforms and everything. Just like spam, just asset spammed. Oh, you can bump them into multiple balloons. This is a completely new mechanic. And yeah, like, it looks like the gun robots have a completely touched up design, too. Oh, that's so sick, the way that all of the balloons are moving around and you have to, like, properly align them. And I can chaos control for a better rank as well. When he says this is the ultimate power, Kirk Shadow is like, he's so aggressive about it. He's like, this is the ultimate power. And then when Keanu says it, it's like, this is the ultimate power. It's just like, it's just a regular guy saying it, which it's funny, but I fuck with it. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just jarring. Man, that third quill is so interesting after seeing Shadow being a certain way for all this time. It's like, you would expect that third quill to be there based on what Sonic's design looks like, but, you know, he doesn't have that. Dun 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 dun. Oh, I did not even need to chaos control. I accidentally did a spear bolt, a whole ass speedrun trick for absolutely no reason. Boom. A little bit of patience.
This is the ultimate power.
This is the ultimate power. Like, that's what it sounds like. This is such a reaction-dependent little DLC. With all the obstacles in the main levels, plus all the obstacles that you get for, like, extra rings and stuff in the side mission to potentially do things faster. Oh, I just love this, like, claustrophobic alleyway with all the shiny cars everywhere. That was my analyzing run, and this is my gamer run, where I try a little bit harder. Yep, yeah. It's a phenomenally good remix as well. I'm pretty sure it's a brand new one, anyway. It's interesting using Chaos Control in this mission, because it's like, because time is stopped, is anything actually moving? It's kind of a shame that we don't have a boss fight for this level, but like, it's so pretty. I am gonna be so happy if people manage to make like custom levels using these assets. Oh, okay, that's where another bunch of them is. Okay, lesson learned. Sure. As much as I love the natural settings that you see in some games, like, you know, Frontiers and Sonic Generations with all, like, the reimaginings of Green Hill and stuff like that, as much as I love seeing the nature aesthetic for Sonic, you know, animal characters and the beauty of nature, it's just fitting. There's also something to be said about, like, how embedded the city aesthetic is since the adventuring days. And, you know, you can even argue in the classic games, they technically did have a lot of city aesthetics with, like, Metropolis Zone and stuff like that. It's just, it's so cozy seeing how compact everything is, and everything's at nighttime as well. Like, this is 2 times more gorgeous than Radical Highway in this game, for sure. Alright. Okay, can I actually, please, for the love of God, get this S-rank? That was bullshit. It's like that third quill just never needs to be there. It's like seeing the third quill there is actively obstructing me from seeing his full design. I don't know how to describe it. It's just like, it's like a piece of hair that's like in your sight of vision. It just shouldn't be there. It's blocking, man. It's blocking things. I love how slippy and slidey he is. That's the thing. They really improved the physics in Shadow Gens for the like cyberspace format levels compared to Frontiers. In Frontiers, you were a lot more stiff with like literally everything you did. This game actually feels like Shadow's like slippy and slidey and like bouncing around like a little ball. This jump ball is the best jump ball that I've seen in a boost game or just a modern game, period. But it's just so fun to look at. Addicting even. And the funny thing is, you don't even notice that, like, all of the animations are the exact same as base game in the gameplay, because the model itself is so different. His head shape, his face shape, I don't know, maybe even the measurements of his limbs. I think my favorite animation with this model is when you're holding a direction for his quick step, and he's just sliding around. I wonder if, because they used a remix for this DLC, that they might actually put one of these songs in the movie as well. This is such, like, a crazy piece of content. It's like, yes, I know Sonic the Hedgehog obviously owns the right to use Sonic the Hedgehog content, but being able to, like, have the actor from the movie and everything, and like the environments and just this is the movie property, you know? This is Paramount stuff in the video game. It's like a return to old licensed video games based on movies, but obviously it's Sonic and Sonic. I don't know, it's just cool seeing something from spin-off playable with the budget and importance of the mainline stuff. Wow, dude, like there's nothing wrong with this model, but like it just doesn't have the sauce that Movie Shadow does. Tell you what. It's so weird that they actively call this Tokyo Act 1, but there isn't an Act 2. I'm gonna love, like, zooming in on all of these billboards and stuff and seeing, like, every possible reference that I can. I think my favorite part about this is jumping on the tops of these cars. I want to dent them, man. I want to cause some damage. I wonder why all the gun robots are green. Like, are we going to see gun mechs in the movie? Oh, that was so cool, the way that he was fast enough to get to the other gun mech before the one that I homing attack rebounded into him. Oh, he looks so good when he's like hover boosting above the ground and like chaos controlling at the same time. Like that looks like it was specifically made for the movie model somehow.
What are they?
Oh, you can't homing attack the helicopter if you chaos control. That would have been so sick. I wonder what he means. What are they doing here? Like, because this is Game Shadow, why? Maybe he's just confused that he's seeing Gun in a different dimension. But he doesn't question that they're against him. He just fights. It's sick. That was such a cool shot. It's like you can see the energy powering up in the palm of his hand as he, like, draws it back. That's so funny that that guy has no expression at all. He understood the assignment. Shadow's like, all right, get out. Your ride's over. He's like, yep, sir, yep, affirmative. Let's get moving! I didn't even need the Helimachopter for that. That was the last collectible as well. I haven't seen this path. Oh, this is a sick one. intentionally bouncing off the cars. Oh, there we go. There's no explosion here, so it can actually use the ramp. That's the best part about level design in Shadow Generations. They need to just make Shadow a mainstay playable character in future games, not just because he's really popular, but because he adds a lot to the gameplay, especially with his minor differences between him and Sonic. Like, Sonic can drop dash, he can't. Specifically in Sonic X Shadow, Sonic has an air dash, but Shadow has the double jump. You know, there's differences in them, but ultimately they play the same, and I think that they should really consider making that happen more often. Especially if they don't want to, like, keep developing unique gimmicks for new characters. Like, if they don't want to keep reprogramming Knuckles for future 3D games, you know, they could easily just give Shadow back, give him a few different variations of moves, and continue to use Chaos Control in his levels to differentiate it from how Sonic's levels work, and have the time trials work for both characters effectively as well. So yeah, I mean, I know lots of people are probably going to complain about the level of content or the lack of story, whatever, but this was a $6 USD DLC. I know fighting games where you pay that amount for just the characters, so a brand new level, challenge acts, you know, lots of time trial potential, fresh new coat of paint. It's a fun time. Wow, I just love the quiet clanking of the missiles that he uses as platforms. But I'll be back. Like, that was a line made for Keanu. I wonder if Ian knew Keanu was going to be voicing when he wrote this. Like, that feels like it worked the best with Keanu's voice. It's something he would say in John Wick. But it is pretty cool that you have a Sonic game where Shadow shares two different voice actors. Go! Like, you can see all the distinct differences between two phenomenal different actors. And the transition from cutscene to gameplay was so smooth. Wow, that's just a photograph of a real person. I know that this level is supposed to be like real world, our world. So it makes sense, but it's just so jarring seeing like photorealistic human in mainline Sonic the Hedgehog game. Why is the spinball animation so smooth? I really need them to bring back the military, but I just thought that, like, thematically, it's so iconic seeing Sonic and Shadow fight a militia force like this, especially in a city, especially against like cars and machines and helicopters and stuff. Like, it's so iconic seeing them fight against it, and thematically it works too when you think about how Sonic, like, you know, he doesn't mesh with the authority. Oh, wow. I did not get that shot intentionally, but his reds are, like, kind of pink in this DLC. That's really pretty. He looked amazing from the front view. If anybody ever asks the shallow question, is this worth it? Just say yes. It's $6 for all of this, man. That's so interesting how they subtly felt the need to change those gun designs. I mean, I appreciate it. They just could have straight up reused the assets from, you know, existing generations, but... And, you know, I've said it a million times when talking about Sonic X Shadow. It's gonna be so fun seeing people that get into the franchise because of the movie. And then they come back to the games, and then they got the best blend of all the highlights of Sonic's history with genuinely good gameplay and two stories, two playable hedgehogs. And then, now, because if they get into the franchise because of the film, you're gonna come to the entirety of Sonic and Shadow Generations with the movie DLC. That was really funny. He homing attacked an entire helicopter, and it just kind of, like, got moved out of the way like it was made out of tinfoil. Chaos Control. It's just such a funny delivery. People are gonna come off the high of seeing the movie and loving Keanu Reeves' version of Shadow, and then they're gonna, like, say, why the hell not? And they're gonna come back to this game. You get to be familiarized with Game Shadow, and you get to come back to something that's a little bit more familiar with movie Shadow. Like, I can easily see myself coming home from the theater after watching the movie and then just playing this to just let everything sink in and just remind myself of where we're at with this franchise. Not a big deal.